Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tommy Hernandez, and this is going to be my supplemental screencast video that goes in addition to my lesson plan. So this is going to be for an 11th grade history class. It's going to be about World War II, in specific America's role before, during, and after it. So my demographic and audience are 11th grade students. It's going to be a classic 90-minute class, and their objectives are to learn about the role of America before, during, and after, and what were the after effects of the war for the country, both domestically and abroad. Some of the elements in my lesson plan are to use technology to engage students, to get them to create, but also get them to understand the content itself. For example, I did create a website for the class, and this is where students can find all of the things. They can find a lecture PowerPoint, the Google Jamboard, interactive timeline, assessments, rubrics, and student examples as well. And as you can see here on the top right corner, I have all of them listed there too. I want students to really engage with the material and not just have me stand up and lecture, which is why I created this website. It's easy for them to navigate. They'll find everything they need to hear. Here's a lecture, they click on it, it takes them to it. Here's the rubrics, the student assessment, the assessments and links to them with instructions, and of course student examples. For example, under my lecture, I did try to make it as interactive as possible. So if students ever want to follow along while I'm lecturing, they're more than able to. And as well, I have Google Jamboard, which is a cool interactive way for them to interact not only with the content, but along with each other as well. And as well, I do have a supportive website activity here that allows students to create an example as outlined in the instructions here. Some of the educational tools I selected in my lesson are effective because, as some of you may know, history is one of those subjects that a lot of people struggle with. Some people may call it boring or dry. However, I want to take that stigma away and really create something something really aesthetic to look at. For example, that's why I put all these colors here, and I really wanted to show students that it's fun to look at and fun to learn about. As well as the website I created is very easy to use, and it just supports them further with instructions so that they never feel left out. And as well, the Google Forms assessment helps take away that whole stigma of paper tests, like it's all quiet. I want them to be able to like look at this and not see it as scary. As well, the Adobe Spark brochure allows students to create an actual brochure itself, kind of like this one I have here, and have them create something of their own. So they take the actual content of history and make it fun and engaging while also showing that they understand what it is. So in my lesson plan, so the way my lesson plan helps build critical thinking skills, addresses accessibility and digital citizenship, is by allowing students to have freedom in creating. And as well, I did mention in my assessments that students do have to cite pictures. So when they use pictures, they have to cite where they got it from so that they know not to plagiarize. And as well, there are rules. So when students are, for example, on a Google Jamboard, they can't say anything mean, and I will hold them accountable so that they learn to use effective digital citizenship skills, and as well learn that just because it's online doesn't mean they don't have to follow rules and be respectful just as in person. As well, it builds critical thinking skills because students are actually assessed on the material, and actually as well what helps is that they're actually learning how to use this technology. A lot of the times they'll see this and be like, I don't know how to use it, but by learning how to create a slide, learning how to take a test online, and it just well making a whole Adobe Spark brochure allows them to start thinking about ways that they could put their thoughts onto different forms of media. As well, this lesson is made so that students see before the war, during the war, and after the war, so that they connect everything they learned prior to this. So during the actual lesson in the week, I'll have students look at the previous lessons and think, okay, where was America before, right, like in the 30s or in the 20s, and how do those things connect to where we are during the war, and how did the things during the war create things after the war. So kind of creating causes and consequences and building off of that. And as well, it addresses accessibility because it gives students different choices of media to express their thoughts. For example, for this one, I have students can either do a newspaper or an Adobe Spark brochure. Some students may have trouble seeing the font or the color, so I didn't add the Adobe Spark brochure, which gives them the freedom to do it how they please to do it. That's kind of it. The rest of my template does outline everything else needed, and it does well create hyperlinks so that anybody can access the website to their choosing in case anybody has questions. Thank you.